Hey, Jonathan here. I've got a question from Jody who asks, how long do you give clients post-project to declare they're unsatisfied and collect a refund? My concern, though the occurrence is probably unlikely, is that the client will run into an unrelated issue causing the project to fail, get buyer's remorse, and look for every possible way to make right on their own poor decision. Okay, so there's a lot that goes into this. What we're talking about here is risk and guarantees. So every time you propose something to a client and you say, I'm going to do X for you for Y amount of money. So for $50,000, I'm going to revise all the copy on your website or whatever it might be. And let's say that it's a big website, thousands of pages, and it's going to take months, and you're going to have a team of people on it. And they say, $50,000, that feels really risky to us. We didn't think this was going to be that big a deal. So they're dealing with risk on their end. You're dealing with risk on your end. The best way, in my opinion, to manage risk on your side is to make it very clear up front what the goalposts are. What is the desired outcome that the client wants to achieve? So if it's revising all of the copy on the website and you think, wow, I'm a copywriter, this is a huge job, this is going to keep me busy for 6 months, I'm not going to have to worry about any marketing or sales that whole time, that's a mistake. But if you're thinking that and you're excited to just get to work, but you never stop to ask, well, why are you interested in investing all of this money in a copy revision? Like, what are you hoping to get out of that? It might be a complete waste of money. They might have decided to do that for no good reason. I mean, there might be a reason, but you might disagree that it's a good reason. So if it turns out that the reason that they want to revise all of the copy on the website is like, we think that we'll rank better in Google search results, and what they're asking you to do, you don't believe is going to affect their search results at all, and there's a much easier way to improve their SEO, whatever it is, then it would be incumbent on you to say, well, we can do that, but if all you really want is an SEO boost, there's a much easier way to approach this. And this approach feels very foreign to people because it's like talking yourself out of the job. Maybe you don't even do SEO, so you'd be saying something like, well, I'd love to take the $50,000 to do this 6-month project of rewriting your entire website, but at the end, you're not going to be satisfied because it turns out that what you're looking for is this boost in SEO, and I don't know that this is going to affect SEO at all. So it might be a better use of your resources, time and money, and stress, emotional, everything, and talk to this friend of mine who's great at SEO, and maybe you can save a ton of money by doing that. So the problem, if you don't do that, because I know that sounds like, well, why would I not take their money? Well, the reason you wouldn't take their money is because they might, at the end of the project, be disappointed because the result that they're looking for, if they never shared it with you, it's going to be really hard to score, to hit a home run, to slam dunk, if you don't know where the goal is. So if you find that out first, find out the goal first, decide for yourself whether or not you think you're a good fit with this particular client to achieve that particular goal, and then ask them, how would we as together measure progress toward this goal along the way? There must be something that you're looking at that tells you that some metric that you're looking at, intangible or tangible, that makes you disappointed with the state of affairs on, in this case, the copy on your website. So what is that? And they say something that matters to you, like, we're getting feedback from our clients that they don't understand the documentation for any of our products. They can't find it. When they do find it, it's not clear to them. So they're calling our help. They're calling our customer support constantly. And we feel like the investment in the website was to get the clients or customers off of customer services back, because the customer service is totally maxed out. We can't hire any more people. We're spending a fortune already, and they're just working 18-hour days or whatever. We need these 1,000 pages on our website to actually start doing something for us. And then you can say, okay, so the goal here is to decrease the number of customer service contacts, whether it's chat or calls or whatever. And the client would say, yes, that's it. And you say, okay, Well, maybe we don't need to do 1,000 pages here. Maybe we could pick the top 10% of pages, start there, have like a sort of quick win, low-hanging fruit, an initial project to deliver the most value in the least amount of time for the least amount of money, instead of tackling this gigantic project right out of the gate. Now, if you do that and if you're focusing that, what you're doing here is mitigating your own risk of scope creep, because you're coming up with a measurable business outcome that is the purpose that the client is asking to engage with you in the first place. So that's the first step. The first step is to say, okay, come up with some sort of goal. What does a home run look like? If the client can't tell me what they're hoping to achieve, whether it's tangible or intangible, again, I don't know what to do. Like, I can do what they say, but that just runs the risk of them being disappointed at the end. Because at the end, they'll be like, you rewrite 1,000 pages. It takes me 6 months and a team of 10 people. And we get to the end and they're like, oh, this didn't really improve our SEO at all. Or this didn't help, this didn't get anybody off of customer services back. And you're like, well, nobody told me that was the goal. So of course they're disappointed. And now they're going to say, okay, let's try something else. And then you're like, wait a second, I already did what you asked. And they say, well, yeah, but it didn't get what we wanted. And you're like, well, that's not my fault. It turns into an awkward situation if you don't know how they're going to judge the success or failure of the project before you start. The longer the project is, the more risky it is. So, okay, so that's about managing risk on your end. Understand what a home run looks like. The flip side is offering a guarantee mitigates risk on the buyer side. So if you give somebody some sort of a guarantee, there are all kinds of guarantees, not just 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked, no time limit. That would be the most permissive guarantee I can pretty much imagine. At any point in the future, you can contact me for a full refund of this $50,000 that I spent 6 months executing. That's probably more risk than you want to take on by offering the guarantee. So you probably want to do something for a long-term project, 6 months, 9 months, longer. You could offer all sorts of guarantees like a professionalism guarantee. So if in the first 30 days you're not happy with the way this project is going, no harm, no foul, just let me know and I'll refund your payment, because of course you're getting paid 100% up front, right? I'll refund your payment in full and we'll just move on. And now what that does is it limits their risk, because they're like, well, we'll know within 30 days if this person is a clown or if they're doing a good job, probably. And that's enough to mitigate the risk of them making a buying decision. So again, you want to mitigate risk on the front end by knowing why they're hiring you. A business does not give you money for fun. They give you money to achieve a business outcome. They are a business and they want a business outcome. The business outcome is measurable in almost I have never come across a situation where it wasn't measurable in some way, intangible or tangible. The reason for offering a money-back guarantee or some guarantee, maybe a bug fix guarantee or a prorated guarantee or what else? A retake guarantee, like you might offer on a class, like, you can take this class, it's $2,000, and you can retake it as many times as you like for free. So there's all sorts of guarantees you can give to people. The point of the guarantee is to shift some of the risk off of the client onto you. So you want to be careful about how much risk you're shifting onto yourself, and the more risk you shift onto yourself, the more you increase your price. Okay, so let me jump back to the question real quickly. Yeah, I honestly think that the specific answer to Jody's question here is to get clear about the business outcome that the client is looking to achieve with your intervention, figuring out a way to measure it throughout the project. And the client, if you're talking to the right person, you're almost always going to be able to come up with something really concrete, even if the improvement is something like morale or customer loyalty. There's some way to measure it. These things are measurable, not to an exact unit or number, but you can certainly measure an increase or a decrease. It's not rocket science. So in this particular question, I think doing that up front, only moving forward if you're confident that you can move the needle for them, and then measuring it along the way to make sure you're going in the right direction, and you can make corrections along the way if need be. And then at the end of the project, you've reached the goal, or you've reached enough of the goal, or you've exceeded the goal, and the client's happy. So the idea of them coming back to you and having buyer's remorse later is dramatically reduced. And and then you can decide how much risk you want to take on with a guarantee, depending on the nature of the engagement or the level of your comfort. Okay, I could talk about this all day. I better stop. Thanks very much. If you have a question, hashtag #AskJonathan on the internets, and I will find it and reply to it as soon as possible. See ya.